Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is Dorrani and Dom from VG247.com. Woo! How are you, Dom?
Yeah,
I'm good.
Mate.
I'm very well. But I've heard something. I've seen the PlayStation April lineup, and there's a game in there called Slay the Spire. And it's come to my attention that you've got 200 hours on this game. 200 hours of any game is insane. So, and for a game that might not have the most popularity, it piqued my interest a little bit. And you have said it is one of the best games you've ever played.
One of the best games I've ever played. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want you to convince me, basically. So I'm gonna throw it to you and say, what is Slay the Spire, and tell me what you love about it. Tell me everything. Go on.
Right, cool. So I'd say from a top-down, like sort of like the mainline thing you need to know about it, it's a turn-based dungeon crawling deck builder that's a bit like a roguelike, right? That's a lot of jargon in it.
Yeah.
But basically think of like, you know, you Enter the Gungeons or Binding of Isaacs, those kind of things. But instead of your player character, you've got like a deck. And you control that your player character with this deck of cards that you build. So in that deck, you're going to have like attack, defend, special moves, power-ups, buffs, that kind of thing. And the more you play through, the more levels you get, the more cards you can add to this deck, and the more powered up you can make your character, right? Sounds like a very simple thing from the surface. But it's probably one of the deepest and most satisfying games, again, I've ever played in terms of going through it and figuring stuff out. And like, you know, even in the, like a lot of roguelites, like in the Binding of Isaac or even Hades, you're probably going to die a few times in that first world before you fully get to grips with stuff, right? Same is true in this. You're going to find enemies. You're like, how the hell do I beat this guy? Like, the first boss in the first world is this big donut or something. And it's like, it does all my damage in one hit. What the hell? And the next time through, you realize that, oh, I got rid of all those defend cards. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I do need them for some reason. And so it's one of these things where the more time you put into it, the more it starts giving back to you. And the more you kind of like play around with it and the different kind of decks you build, the deeper you get into this, like, I don't know, wonderful, addictive, like labyrinthine game. It's really genuinely like properly compelling.
That's wicked. So is the deck building side of it, is that more like Hearthstone? Or
yeah, that's a pretty good way of putting it, especially because if you played Hearthstone, you know that you've got like your wizard characters, your warlock characters, your mages, your paladins, whatever. There are 4 playable characters in Slay the Spire that also work like that, like their characters. So the first one you've got is called the Ironclad, and he is all about like being quite aggressive. He has a special ability innately that allows him to heal damage after every match, after every encounter. So you're going to think, oh, maybe I can sacrifice 2 HP to do more damage because I'm going to get that back at the end of the turn. And so like you start building decks with him around damaging yourself in order to quickly kill enemies so they can't do more damage to you. But then if you get the next character, the Silent, who is like kind of like a rogue that's all about like poison and multiple like weak attacks, you'll be like, okay, I can't take any damage, so instead I've got to focus on really quickly eliminating enemies before they can damage me because I'm much more of a glass cannon. So even in the first 2 characters, you're starting to see this depth and this like the difference between taking on different enemies and stuff. And then you realize that you can get relics as well that kind of diversify how you play even more. So maybe the Ironclad isn't going to benefit from a relic that does weak attacks, lets you attack with weak attacks more because all of his attacks are quite strong. But the Silent, who like to load its hand with Shiv cards, which are like do 2 damage to an enemy, if you get a perk, for example, that lets you play another attack for every 3 free attacks you play, this character starts getting much more utility. And you start realizing that on the first turn you can kill most encounters because you've just got a hand that lets you keep on attacking, right? It's like I do keep saying Binding of Isaac because the way that you get different relics and stuff in that make your character more powerful, give you electric tears or something, you realize that one modifier can start having these massive knock-on effects for your characters as you go through this game and this build.
So you don't start with like, you don't choose your cards before you start your run, right? You get like a basic start and then you gain more cards and you have to sort of figure it out as you go, right?
Yeah, that's it. So, like a lot of roguelites in this modern day and age, you progress through everything. Even if you kind of like die after the first two encounters, you get some experience,
Yeah.
and that experience allows you to unlock more cards that go into a pool. So
Yeah.
next time you start, you still have like the basic attacks, but you can start drawing those cards from a pool. So every encounter gives you one card afterwards, a choice of three. You can choose one of these three cards. So, like, if you're going for a build, say around uh, bigging up your armor, so making the ironclad like really armor up, because the more armor you has, the more attack you can do.
Yeah.
You can start getting more cards that give you armor because you know that somewhere in that pool you've got like do an attack equal to the amount of armor you've got. It's still a lot of
Yeah.
RNG and it's still a lot of risk, but that's what it's like. You've got to kind of plan for the cards that you want to pick up, and you've got to plan for the amount of cards in your deck. So any turn in the game, you can pull. You can probably get like, say for example, there's a power card that like, oh, double your attack.
Yeah.
But if you get that on your first turn when your attack's still quite low, it's useless. So what you
Yeah.
want to do is get a card that boosts your attack and then double the boost sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about getting to know the cards and kind of planning ahead. It's a perfect mix of skill, luck, and like insight and kind of predicting things.
Yeah.
One of these games that really just gets more and more rewarding the more you play it. But it's also got that nice hook of even the first few hours, you're like, oh, this is interesting, this is intriguing. I've never played anything quite like this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really it gets you hook, line, and sinker, and I think it's one of those things that's got a really initially powerful bite, and then the more it draws you down into depths, you're like, oh, and this mechanic, and this mechanic, and this mechanic.
Yeah. I think that's. I feel like indie games are the ones that do that the most. Not so much indie, but these sort of like smaller scale. They combine a lot of different things, and I really like that. And you said the RNG. I'm not gonna lie, I actually like RNG in roguelikes. I like sort of knowing what I could get, but it not being certain, because there's like the gambling dopamine starts to go, because it's like, okay, please give me what I want here, please, please, please. And if you don't get it, you're like, oh man. But when you do get like exactly what you want when you need it at the right time, that feeling is incredible. So
It's
okay,
like catnip, isn't it? Like nothing.
yeah. So you're definitely convincing me a little bit more, but I really like the art style as well. The art style looks quite nice.
You see, I would say, like, if I've got a criticism of this game, it comes down to a bit of the art. The animations are a bit clunky, the sound's a bit clunky.
Yeah.
It looks like something from Newgrounds from, like, the noughties in my head. It's got
Back
that kind
in
of,
the
like,
day.
early Flash game sort of style.
Mini clip.
Yeah, exactly. But that is no, like, shade on this game at all, because whatever it lacks in production value, it more than makes up for in design.
Yeah.
I know there's quite a few people of my friends that feel similar. They kind of tried it on a whim once upon a time, and now they are hooked.
Yeah.
It's my most played game on Switch, except Hades, I think, which has also got about 200 hours in. I've got to think for this genre.
Can't blame me for that one. I can't blame you for having Hades as your favorite game or the most played.
And like, it lacks the kind of story that these other roguelikes have got and stuff, but it doesn't matter, because it's kind of there is a kind of base like story there, which is you're trying to slay the spire. The thing that you're climbing is kind of alive, and it's throwing like enemies at you, and you find all these different bosses with different skills and stuff, and if you kill them, you can kind of like sort of take on their abilities as the relics that they drop. So there's that kind of thing as well. And it's similar to those games as well. You don't just finish it once. If you finally get through to the boss, and believe me, it will take you at least 10 tries to do that the first time. You will then realize that, I've got to do it with all the other characters. Okay. And then you realize that, wait, hang on, there's actually other objectives I can do on the way to killing this final boss if I want to kind of unlock a new world or unlock a new boss and get the true proper ending. And then you start realizing there's a bit of a meta narrative there. So like, you might see a gap in a wall in one of these like question mark things on the map, and you say like, okay, I'll leave one of my cards there. But you're playing as the Silent, who has access to like poison cards and things like that, whereas the other characters don't. So then you're playing as your like the robot guy that attacks with energy and cycling things around, and you pick up a poison card, and you think, this has really changed my game, because I can now do all of his stuff with poison as well. So if I leave like an energy card here for my next run as the Ironclad then has an extra energy, and it just gets deeper and deeper and more kind of like myopic, but also more enjoyable. It's unlike anything I've ever played. Even now, there's a game coming out later this year called Marvel's Midnight Suns, which is like a
Yes.
AAA one. Same guys that made XCOM, kind of doing that. And the guys in that, the creative director is directly cited Slay the Spire as an inspiration for him in that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
That's
he
really
likes
good.
cards build, yeah.
So, what is like your favorite thing out of everything this game has to offer? Slay the Spire. What is your favorite thing?
All right, so I think my favorite thing about it is your biggest enemy is not going to be the bosses that can like one-shot you. Even that is kind of dumb, and the RNG can be annoying. Your biggest enemy is greed. If you get into a point where you fight this boss and you're going to get one-shot, it's because you've not played the game right. And this game, after encountering it once, you know exactly what's lying ahead.
Yeah.
So if you're not prepared for it, and if you're not dealing with all the things it can do, it's your fault. Like, it's not the game's fault. It's you not preparing enough.
Yeah.
That's because you've been greedy. That's because you've taken too many hits on the way there, trying to get too much stuff. That's because you've tried to get for this relic, or you spent your gold on stuff instead of healing, or other things like that. It's such a fine balance of being just powerful enough and having just enough resources by the time you get to the latter stages of the game to win. Like, you know, like I say, I've got 200 hours in this, and it will still be maybe a 1 in 5 chance I'll even get to that last boss. Right? And that's because I get greedy, because I'm like, oh, maybe this will be the build. I can break the game.
No. You've taken one step too far, and now the whole run is ruined. But do you know what? It happens in Hades as well. I feel like that happens in a lot of roguelikes. You try to do something, or you see something, or like you see the start of a build, and you hope that in the next couple of chances your build will be complete, and it just never completes. RNG is not on your side, and it never completes, and the run just goes to shit. But no, that sounds wicked, man. I'm not gonna lie. Slay the Spire, I'll definitely be giving. Do you know what? I have Slay the Spire somewhere, and I feel like I played it like once when it first released, but I don't know what platform I have it on. This is like a first world problem that I don't know where my games are anymore. They're on EGS, Steam, PlayStation, my Switch. Like, I'm not sure. Oh, is this on iPad? It'll be so good on iPad.
It's on iOS.
Actually? Oh my god!
This was my commuting game for the longest time. That's why I got so many hours in it as well. Like,
dude, this will be sick on iPad. I'm not gonna lie. I just got a new iPad as well, so I'm just who knows? I might.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add about Slay the Spire?
I think basically, as I've said from this, I am a massive advocate of this game, and I would say anyone should try it at least. Like, what's it going to cost you? An hour, 2 hours to give it a go? And now that it's going to be on PS Plus, if you've got the subscription, give it a shot, man. Even you're not going to get all the trophies. Like, just accept that one now. If you're a platinum hunter, good luck to you. But like, it's free on it. I say free. It's downloadable on that. I think it's also on Game Pass. So, like, just give it a shot no matter what platform you're on. Honestly, you've got so little to lose and possibly so much to gain. Like, so many people I know that are giving this game a shot on a whim. It's, like, up there, one of their all-time favorites. I can't do justice enough with my mere human words as to how, like, addictive and compelling it can be. But, yeah, give it a shot. Give it a few runs through. Like, once it clicks, it's one of these games that when it clicks in your head, it kind of takes over all your thoughts. You'll be thinking about it when you're cooking. You'll be thinking about it when you're eating dinner and thinking, if I just got that one attack with that one other modifying card, it'll be perfect.
Oh, the game will haunt your dreams.
Yeah,
it will keep you up at night. Why did I go for an attack spell when I should have defended? Yeah, no, that sounds wicked, man. I like games that sort of like consume you and make you think about it outside of playing the actual game. So that is awesome, man.
Yeah,
Slay the Spire, Hearthstone meets Risk of Rain. Well, yeah, you can even say that. Risk of Rain. Risk of Rain is a roguelike. Hearthstone, roguelike that is challenging, that will test your mental capacity. We like that, and give you a proper challenge.
Hey, and if you need to burn up on your mental maths as well, it'll be making you think a lot about
counting.
What's 7 times 6? Oh god! Oh no! What's 8 times 21? Oh god! Like,
trying to calculate lethal damage. Oh my god! My Hearthstone guys know about that. You have to calculate lethal. You're like, oh my god! Oh my god! The mental maths will be tested. But nah, you've convinced me. As you said as well, this is important. In April on PlayStation, you've got nothing to lose. Yeah, so exactly. Yeah, give it a go. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, no harm done. But
And if we
thanks.
do convince you to pick it up and you like it, come back here and drop a comment, because I want to see. I should be taking a commission for this. It's not the first time I've gone off about getting everyone on Slay the Spire. If you do like it, please let us know, because I'll take personal joy in giving this to more people. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Dom.
no worries, mate.
Thank you. Well, we have been Dorrani and Dom from VG247.com. Take it easy, subscribe, visit the website, and take care.
Cheers.